Gold is power.
This is the Horrible Film School. Take a seat and slowly peel open your Trapper Keepers. I am Chris, and I am here with Professor Hootie.
What's up, fellas? Excited to celebrate St. Paddy's Day in the cosmos.
Just like the Irishman intended it, I'm sure. We are also joined today by the space bachelor himself, Professor Joy, a.k.a. Dr. Nasty.
Hello there, me boyos. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all you guys and gals out there.
We will be covering the next Leprechaun in the series for us, but before we do that, just a quick reminder. We do have a 100th episode looming in the not-too-distant future, so if you want to send us any suggestions, we are opening the mailbag. Reach out however you choose. horriblefilmschool@gmail.com. If you can't find any other way to shout at either one of you boys, we will be listening and making that decision and that announcement in a few more episodes. And now that that's taken care of, before we step any further into our episode today, I got some news for you boys. I'm going to start with a downer, something that's a little sad, a little heartbreaking, but something that needs to be known, shining some awareness here. The Phantasm franchise hero, Reggie Bannister, is in hospice care, and he's looking for people to send him well wishes.
Whoa.
Hit him up on the internet. Reggie's out here looking for love, man. Send him some love. The man with the skullet, the legend.
I still have Hootie's picture on my phone as Reggie's fucking face from Fast
Reggie's skullet. Yes.
Yeah, I see that shit all the time.
Reggie's out of the weather. Hoping for fans to reach out, so do so.
Man,
Doesn't
that's
sound
awful.
too good, but hey, the dude's lived a long and fruitful life, so.
Not many other people in the Skullet Hall of Fame, so he's Mount Rushmore Skullet for me.
It's just him and Hogan. That's about it.
And that's about it.
Oh,
I guess
it's,
Macho Man, kinda.
Oh yeah, Macho.
No,
Sorry.
what's his name from Sling Blade?
Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight Yoakam.
Yeah, Dwight Yoakam.
Yes.
Don't know if Dwight ever really took the skullet.
Nah, I think he shaved it, or curled it.
He always had the
He
curl.
never took that damn hat off, man.
Yeah, he doesn't take his cowboy hat off.
That's why why do you think he's going to take his hat off? Because he's got that fucking
Because he's
skullet.
1,000 miles from nowhere. What the fuck are you talking about?
I hope somebody makes Reggie the double barrel shotgun from Phantasm 2 to send it to him in the house.
That would be sweet. Get Bruce Campbell to personally deliver it. That'd be sweet. Speaking of Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi's return to horror, a movie called Send Help, starring Rachel McAdams, will be in theaters January 2026. Sam's coming back, boys.
Sounds like Rachel McAdams is coming back too. I ain't seen her in a movie in quite a while.
I love Rachel McAdams. She's got a place in my heart.
Is that because you just watched The Wedding Crashers too much?
No, it's Notebook, brother.
True Detective Season 2, anybody? Throwing that out there?
Oof,
Moving
God. I think they want to throw that out there in the fucking trash.
In the cosmos, if you will.
Spotlight.
I got two more bits here for you. We have an actual theatrical release anticipated of fall 2026 for a brand new installment in the Wolf Creek franchise called Wolf Creek Legacy. Mick is back, baby.
That's all that matters.
That dirty Australian bastard.
I'm actually pretty pumped for that.
I know, especially going to theaters. I was kind of shocked by that. Seems like a direct-to-streaming candidate. I feel like that's how everything's going these days.
Not to put the cart before the horse, but the Leprechaun franchise changed their actor and that forever sank this franchise.
Or did it though? Well, luckily it didn't do that to Nightmare on Elm Street or any of the other iconic horror franchises we all love. Last thing I got, speaking of iconic horror franchises, we have a reported casting for Mrs. Voorhees in the A24 series Crystal Lake, which will be the return of the Friday the 13th franchise. You boys ready to see your brand new Pam Voorhees, Linda Cardellini?
Damn, Linda Cardellini.
Maybe better
Fucking
known as
Velma.
Velma from Scooby-Doo.
Whoo! Hot damn! I'll be watching that with. I'll be watching that with.
I kind of understand how Jason feels now. You know, I'd be willing to protect Mommy then too a little bit.
Is this like a Norman Bates hotel situation? Because she's way too hot.
She's pretty hot, but that was the reported casting as of February 13th.
She was just in a holiday picture with Ben Stiller, the Nutcracker or Nutcrackers. And
was that did it bomb?
it wasn't great, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But she was very attractive in it. So
The only other two things I got are, this is just some personal, what I've been watching, how I'm feeling these days. 2 movies from 2025 I've just recently seen, Companion and Wolfman. I'll tell you, one of those was great. One of those was a fucking turd. I'll let you figure out which was which.
I'm going to say Companion was the good one.
Companion was a good one.
Companion was great.
Yeah, Wolfman
It was
had to
really
be a
good.
fucking
Wolfman
shit
was
fest.
a fucking wolf, man. It was rough.
That's our
dude.
boy. That's our boy from Saw.
Yeah, it was Lee Winnell, the other half, James Wan's partner. Yeah, I had expectations till it was over, and I realized it had been never close to reach. So, but Companion's good. Check out Companion. You haven't seen it yet.
Why is Wolfman so hard to figure out?
I don't know. I was actually like halfway through the
Did
movie
Benicio
thinking,
del
like,
Toro get killed at, or was it Antonio
nah,
Banderas?
I think that was just the transformation, and that was it. I don't think the movie was great. The effects were great. That was it. But yeah, halfway through this movie, I was thinking the same thing. Like, can no one write this like effectively in the 21st century? Is it like too old of a story? But we're going to find out if Robert Eggers can crack it. That's his next thing. So if he can't do it, nobody can.
Is he? Wait a minute. Is he making another Wolfman?
Werewolf, it's called.
Oh, I got you.
Same basic idea, you know.
I think with such
Pretty much Nosferatu, but with a werewolf.
such a legacy property like Wolfman, I bet there's too many executives with their own voices in that pot to where it just becomes what you watched.
Right. Too many people with money at stake to like, okay, I got to have my, like the character's probably been like rewashed and resold so many times that 50 people have ownership stake in him at this point.
Yeah.
Well, who's the thing? Who are you making this movie for in the first place? All the people that grew up on the Universal monsters are fucking dead.
Yeah, I guess the idea is if it was such a big deal then there's an audience for it that doesn't know the story. So let's reheat it.
Speaking of ones who grew up on the original, R.I.P. Gene Hackman.
Yeah, that's I keep getting these notifications throughout the day, and they're getting progressively weirder to the point where I'm like, I don't know if I want to read any more about this.
Well, how he died?
Yes.
What'd he do?
So apparently, the first thing this morning, I get, all right, Gene Hackman, 95 years old, passes away. I'm okay, he's 95, that's what he's supposed to do. I don't think anything else of it. 2 hours later, I get like, Gene Hackman's wife and dog found dead with him. I was like,
Fuck my
okay.
ass.
I was like, okay, that's weird. And then
This
hours
shit's
later,
getting spicy as fuck.
hours later, I get another one. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I didn't click on any of these. These are all notifications I'm dismissing, you know? But they keep feeding them to me. Apparently, there's some pills involved, so I don't know, dude.
They had a fucking suicide pact or some
With the
shit.
dog?
Gone. Holy
I can't
shit.
wait for this episode to drop and like so much more shit
Yeah.
has come out to where everything
this,
you just
this
said.
is all like old news. I'm like literally spreading like libel or slander at this point without even knowing.
Gene
Future
Hackman
me is
and
under
wife
arrest.
poisoned by a dog.
That's what I'm saying. I think the dog did it. That's the only logical conclusion so far.
That's a hell of a twist. I say in my Shyamalan twist.
He was 95. Though. I didn't realize he was that old. But yeah, every time you see like news, someone over 90 passes away, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Normally it's pretty normal. I heard a theory
Yeah, that's
that he apparently was found in their mudroom, obviously dead. And his cane was inside of him. And the theory is, again, by the time the show comes out, I have no idea. The wife found his body. She couldn't live with it. She took a lot of pills. She didn't take all the pills. Some fell on the floor. The dog ate the pills. Everybody died.
Jesus. Is this all like a Reddit fan theory?
Yeah, I think this was on Twitter. It's probably all fake.
Is this like one of those, you know, like they give you those puzzles like a man hangs himself in a prison cell, but there's no rope and there's a puddle of water on the floor. How did he do it? It's one of those, man. You guys got anything you want to share? Any recommendations? Anything new with yous, guys?
Outside the world of horror, they actually just announced who's playing Dumbledore in the HBO series.
I stumbled upon this.
John Lithgow. How pretty
You mean
fucking cool.
Lord Farquaad?
Lord Farquaad.
The Trinity
That's
Killer?
the first thing I thought
I'm
of.
not a monster, you are.
The Trinity Killer? Yes. What do you Michael C. Hall to come in as Snape?
I saw an interview with him talking about that. He said it was difficult to take on that role because he realizes that that's probably the last role of his life.
Yeah, I think the quote I saw was, I'll be 87 when I'm done with this character, a.k.a. I'll be in Gene Hackman land when I'm done with this character.
Run as fast as you can. Can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. Dude, I
I do love
so
some John
good.
Lithgow, man.
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, who lives on Drury Lane. Yes, the Muffin Man.
All right, boys, if that's all we got, let's get into today's assignment. Going back to a little year called 1996 for a little film called Leprechaun 4, In Space. Today's lesson. It's the only one tagline for this movie, only one you'll ever need. One small step for man, one giant leap of terror.
It's not bad at all. I just roll my fucking eyes every time I hear the in space part of this shit.
In space. Like you have to say it in that like 60s radio DJ voice.
Space.
With that being said, I hand the reins over to the newest Leprechaun ringmaster, Mr. Hootie.
I would say I'm excited to hop into this, but let's see what happens.
Yes.
First up, let's see what the fans thought. This was hard to find a positive one. I'll go ahead and say that.
Oh, damn, I didn't even think about that. There's a 10 out of 10 for this one?
I couldn't find one.
Damn.
Well, I think I did find one, but it was clearly like done as a spoof.
Oh, like someone trying to be
It's a parody of a parody movie.
There you go. Parody.
It was a parody of a review of a parody movie.
All right, first up. From Quetzal from 1999, titled A Creative Movie. Creativity is a funny thing. It can either turn out to be brilliant and inspiring, or it can turn into utter crap. L4 is a very original, creatively done film that approaches the genre from a unique perspective and combination of rip-off, Alien, and Dr. Strangelove. Not that it's any good, it is actually a horrible film, but hey, it is different. The horror sequences are silly and cheesy, like when the antagonist crawls up a soldier's member, and the attempts at humor fall flat. The whole thing is just dumb, but hey, bring some friends and have a day letting loose on it. Look for the little guy to flash the Trimark symbol of quality at the end. 2 out of 10 stars.
Did he reference Dr. Strangelove in that review? How in the hell you're going to pull Stanley Kubrick into this? I did not follow that thread if it was buried in there.
I've never seen Dr. Strangelove, but I'll just go with that.
Oh, it's great. Black and white from the 60s. Joey would love it.
Oh, man, I'm in awe of that movie.
The great American master, Stanley Kubrick.
Have to watch this old fucking shit.
Have you ever seen 2001: A Space Odyssey?
I love it. I like when the monkeys are beating the fucking pillar with a stick.
Hey, Joey,
such a Philistine, you idiot. Get some culture, boy.
I don't have time for culture, man. There's too much other shit to watch.
There's too much
many
Doritos
fucking
and
YouTubes.
porn.
There's too many YouTubes. God, I'm fucking old. There's too much YouTube and shit to watch, man.
Next up, a little bit on the positive side, from M. Simon 3 from 2006, titled Bad Movie That Turns Out to Be Really Entertaining. In the first half hour of this film, you were tempted to switch channels, but if you do not, you get, let me call it, used to it. And that's the point. This film is meant to be bad. Seriously, if you get used to the bad, strange acting, the whole design of this movie, you will find it to be true strength and entertainment. It's more like a horror parody, with the fact in mind, it's really fun to watch. Actually, the acting isn't that bad either. Don't expect it to be demanding in any way. It's just a lay back and relax movie. But in contrast to all those standard comedies where one looks like the remake of the other, this film is quite original. 7 out of 10 stars.
See, if somebody's going to like this movie, that's like a realistic score for someone that enjoys the movie.
That's a peak. That's,
you can't give it a 10
most enjoyable.
In no fucking world could you give this movie a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, even if you're being contrarian, like that's even contrarianism has its limits.
But if you go into it, and you've under the influence of your favorite substance, I could see you liking this.
Yeah.
Well, let's hop into the behind the scenes of this film. First up, director Brian Trenchard Smith, who we've already talked about because he directed Leprechaun 3, Night of the Demons 2, and do you boys want to say the third film I have queued up?
If I had to guess, it's 2014's Drive Hard.
Yes!
With Thomas J.
Ah, God. Did it?
It's the second time we talked about this fucking movie. Dude, I'm sure we talked about it during Lep 3.
No doubt about it. You got to also shout out in 1996, this man directed 5 episodes of the USA original program, Silk Stockings.
God,
which will be a through line.
God, deja vu. I think we talked about this shit again.
It's a through
The
line
guy-
through this movie too, bro.
He gets a pass for this movie because he directed Leprechaun 3. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
that was his quote unquote blank check, at least for the Leprechaun franchise. As we can see, I don't know if that check cleared.
I don't know if we talk about Silk Stockings or Congo more on this horror genre podcast.
Stockings. You just know something about being 10 years old in the 90s, dude. These things are just got in that crawl and never got out of it.
Next up, the writer, Dennis A. Pratt, who I had a hard time finding stuff for. He also wrote a film called Deep Freeze.
It's almost like it's not worth even mentioning the guy.
Well, I had to. He wrote the damn thing.
I had one thing he wrote too. He wrote Kickboxer 3, The Art of War from 1992.
That's a try.
Starring, was it Cody from Step by Step? Remember that guy?
Wait, he was the fucking... He was the kickboxer?
He took over after Jean-Claude. He was Kickboxer 2 and 3.
What a career.
Kickboxer. That's like the most 90s fucking setup you can have there. The writer of Kickboxer 3 proudly presents Leprechaun 4 in space.
I did a small dive on Mr. Pratt for Deep Freeze. It has a tagline is some things are better left frozen. It's apparently about an Antarctic drilling station under attack. It's basically The Thing, just a VHS version.
Is it a creature feature or is it like
it's a creature feature?
Okay. Like the Ark of the Covenant's frozen or something? That'd be pretty wild.
But
Creature
it has
feature,
a 2.9 IMDb score.
Ooh, shit.
So
Yikes.
Also, we need to shout out based on characters by Mark Jones.
Marky.
Dude's still cashing checks from that original script he wrote.
Don't they have that rap song about that guy?
Mike Jones.
No, Mike Jones. Mike Jones.
Got it.
And lastly, special effects by Mr. Gabriel Bartelos from Atlantic West Effects. And he has done every Warwick Davis Leprechaun film, the makeup for them.
The makeup is the only bit of consistent
Grotesque.
production value.
Grotesque is a way to describe it.
I appreciate the production
fucking
value of
gross.
his makeup, at least.
His makeup was also featured in Frankenhooker.
Ooh, that's a blind spot there.
Can't wait to cover that.
So he didn't do the sets for this one, right?
No, he's just in charge of Warwick. That's all.
Okay.
He's just
I'm glad you
guy.
didn't feel the need to call out the set designer.
Wait, just
I would've
Warwick, or
been
did he
offended if you
work
didn't.
on? Did he work on Mitten Spider?
Maybe. I didn't dive that deep. I'm sorry.
Well, some of it, like some of the makeup effects in this movie, are actually pretty good.
Mittenhead's pretty solid.
Yeah.
So here's where my deep dive into Trimark happened. It's a product of the 80s VHS boom. 1981, a man named Mark Oman opened 2020 Video. In 1985, Mark and four other investors created Vidmark Entertainment, a film company that specialized in VHS B movies, capitalizing on the VHS boom. In 1988, their first theatrical film was released, American Gothic. If you two remember that film.
Why does that sound familiar?
It's the old people holding the pitchforks.
Yeah. I got you. That's the old painting. There's a movie based on the picture?
Yes. I've never seen it, but
I know the painting. I don't know the film.
apparently it's pretty solid.
Film is probably not the correct word to use to describe that, I bet.
In 1991, they created a new division named Trimark, and the first film under that umbrella was Warlock.
Oh, so they have a very particular taste.
Yeah.
I can already smell it. I can already smell that soup just bubbling up here.
1993, they released Leprechaun, which sold $8 million in VHS on the first release to video stores. Due to the video rental
Banger.
the video decline, Blockbuster started buying all the video stores, and they monopolized it to where B movies were no longer as successful. Due to this, Trimark tried to shift what they were doing, gave a 3-picture deal to Carrot Top in 1997.
Oh, damn.
Chairman of the board, baby.
Chairman of the
you go.
board? Was that one of
That's
the
the
movies
movie.
financed? Why do we know that?
And also Star Kid.
He's on a surfboard in a suit. Damn it. Why is this all
I
coming
remember the
back to
motherfucker surfing on like a goddamn briefcase on the cover or something like
me?
that.
Yeah, Jesus
3
Christ.
pictures.
Star Kid. What the hell is Star Kid?
Remember Star Kid? The kid has like an alien best friend.
Don't.
Or
Mac
does
and
he turn
me?
into the alien
That
best
shit,
friend?
Joey? Who did you just hit him with the Fight Club? Or is he the alien best friend?
I get Star Kid mixed up with the Robin Williams movie.
Patch Adams?
No, Robin Williams played like a mechanical dude in a movie.
The Bicentennial Man.
That's it. All right, let's bring Trimark home here. 2000, Trimark was sold for $50 million to Lionsgate. At the time, a small Vancouver-based company started in 1997.
You know, it's funny. I can see the threads from Trimark to Lionsgate now that you say that.
And the original founder, Mark Arman, would be hired as vice president for Lionsgate until he resigned in 2009. And that is...
I can totally see that through line.
And that is Trimark.
Trimark no more. Lionsgate's still, quote-unquote, pumping out work, yeah?
Yeah, they're very successful. Probably one of the top dogs, aren't they?
Probably top 5 as far as productions, not necessarily quality. They're no A24.
Well, A24 has become the studio.
The indie horror darlings.
Ironically enough.
What has Neon put out recently?
Neon does good shit, too. They're a little bit more weird, I would say. The more European style, I guess.
Was Longlegs Neon?
Yeah, and I think they did Long Legs. I'm pretty sure they put out, was that a good one last year, too? Strange Darlings? That might have been Neon, too.
Is that the one with Hunter? What's her name?
Hunter Schafer? No, you're talking about Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
I think Neon did that as well. Yeah, it's more like the European style indie horror stuff.
And with that, fellas, let's hop into some behind the scenes. Not a lot out there, but I will let you two have this portion.
I just wanted to say one in particular. Let me do this one. Soundbite used for the closing and opening of the doors on the spacecraft we see in the film are actually ripped right from the original Doom, where the sound was used for the elevators throughout the video game. I thought that was cool
64?
as fuck.
What's the original Doom? PC?
Doom is PC, yeah.
Yeah, that's way before my PC days. So that's from like 93 Doom.
Well, the game's been re-released like countless times. Hell,
Yeah.
you can, at this point, you can probably play it on a fucking graphics calculator.
Yeah, I think there's like a 2016 version that's just called Doom.
Doom made it possible.
That is pretty cool, though.
For the better version, Duke Nukem, to be born.
So I wonder if they had to pay...
I came to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and
Who
I'm all out of
produced
gum.
Doom? Was it id? Was it them?
Yeah, it's
That's a software company. I wonder if they had to pay them for that sound, the effect there, or if it's like... I wonder if sound effects are copyrighted.
Oh, I guarantee they had to give something.
My question.
$20?
Here's the thing: the sound design. Somebody actually like had to create that sound.
Right.
It's not. I don't think it's one of those royalty free type deals.
Anything you could take from a movie, someone created it, but you don't own like the sound of someone clapping, you know?
Yeah, but everything's distinct, you know?
My question would be, did they also rip the imagery for the spaceship from Doom? Because, you know.
Actually,
I think Doom actually looked better.
My single production note, since Joey took one of them, is actually about that. Brian Trencher Smith said that he was disappointed by the final quality of the special effects, calling them quote unquote below PlayStation. And the budget for the CGI for this movie was $80,000.
It looks like this shit come from one of those bargain bin GameStop, like $5 games that you see like just haphazardly thrown into like a pile.
$80,000, and just for reference, the budget was $1.6 million. Can you believe this thing cost $1.5 million? That blows my mind. It all went
to work. At least I hope it did.
It had to, at least half of it, right?
I think a lot of it probably went into the fucking glitter used on that one chick. Tits.
Oh yeah.
I just every time they showed this spaceship that looked like a fucking hair curler or something. Why is it that expensive to create a miniature?
You got to hire a miniature artist. And there's like 10 of them in the world.
Maybe that's it.
So they're all like masters of the craft, aka not cheap.
I need to go watch stop motion again. I want to fucking still pursue that whole
some good shit.
Thing.
But speaking to the budget, the box office, I have 3 question marks. I can only tell you what the Google AI overview told me when I asked it how much money it made. It said Leprechaun 4 in Space made $10.75 million worldwide.
Yeah, but it was all like
there's no fucking
video,
way I believe
right?
that.
Yeah, straight to video.
That's Google AI. I don't know where it pulled the number from. It went down to the dollar. I was like, there's no way this is correct, but I'm gonna throw it out there. You think this thing made 10 times its budget? There's no way, dude.
Well, I mean, think about it. We got like 2 more sequels, a prequel, and then like a sequel to that additional prequel. I mean, they were still making the movies for some reason.
Yeah. Every video store bought this to rent one piece of it. And also, this thing, for some reason, in my childhood at least, was always on Sci-Fi.
I know we talked about like we had this common experience with this franchise in particular, but how is it that none of us could remember anything about this damn movie? I could tell you like plot points from 2 and 3 before we watched them. Nothing from this one.
The only image or thing that even stuck out with me is when the dude gets his face smashed with the pan.
I saw Leprechaun growing. That was all I remember.
God, Jesus. I wish we could fucking forget it.
We're about to talk
that
about
looked
That's
goddamn
that was all I
terrible.
remembered.
It's literally, you can count the pixels on this motherfucker as he's getting bigger.
Yeah, it was nasty. This is I always talk about my big beautiful 4K television that I love to watch things on. This was not made for
Unnecessary.
that. Ew, Dad, there's shit on the
You need
TV.
to go to like your damn elementary school, find one of those old boob tubes with a VHS player.
No, you need to go into like an abandoned school that no one's been in 30 years to find the equipment to play something like this. And it's
Watch
proper
this
quality.
motherfucker on an old slideshow projector.
Yeah, this is an account of overkill, technology overkill on my part. The upscale was a downgrade.
I had two things before we jump into this wonderful film. First up, supposedly, it began as a spoof film for Apollo 13. I didn't get it.
Why in the hell? I guess this is a year after Apollo 13. Just on timing alone, I guess so. But okay, whatever. Sure.
And this is how do you say this? The latest entry into the Leprechaun timeline because the film takes place in 2096.
Oh boy.
So
Holy shit. There's Leprechaun lore gatekeepers.
if you want to get deep.
So that's why the other movies happen, because this hasn't happened yet.
So if you're sitting there saying, how did he get to space? Well, he's got, 90 years,
You got to wait and find out.
or actually 100 years.
We got to watch all the movies before then to see how I got there. I get it now. Totally makes sense.
So technically, in 2095, they can make a Leprechaun film that explains this film.
Hopefully I'm dead by then. I'm going to throw that out there. I don't think I want to see that.
Let's jump in to Leprechaun 4 in space.
All right. Big is good.
We climb aboard a spaceship and meet a Marine platoon consisting of Books, Mooch, Sticks, Lucky, Danny, Kowalski, a.k.a. KO, and Dolores. None of these people matter. The crew gets orders from Sergeant Hooker, or as he's labeled on IMDb, Metalhead, to search and destroy a target on the planet Ethicon.
Dude, that is some straight 4th grade sci-fi shit, the way they named that planet.
Yeah. The way they named the characters, man, that's something you do in your first screenplay.
Are any of these actors or actresses worth talking about?
2 of them are at least.
Let me talk about one, because I know who he's going to be sucking on fucking... And what's his name?
What's
love you,
that
Spider-Man.
stick?
But let me talk about Debbie Dunning.
Deb.
We all remember Debbie Dunning as Heidi from Home Improvement. I said fucking Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Home
yes.
Improvement, man. The eye candy on the Tool Time show.
Did you know she was also in a 1996 episode
God
of Silk
almighty.
Stockings?
Shoot. 2
I can
references
imagine.
in this.
episode titled Body Electric. Whatever that was. That was in somebody's spank bank, guaranteed.
She replaced Pam Anderson on Home Improvement as the Tool Time girl. I looked at her filmography, and she stopped working in like 2006, 7, I don't remember the exact year, but there's this massive gap. And then she returned in 2018 with Debbie Dunning's Dude Ranch Roundup.
Like a reality
It's a
show?
reality
or
show
something?
where she goes around and checks out dude ranches.
Nice. I'm not even sure what the hell that means.
Sounds like my type of show.
So who do you want to touch on Sticks yourself there, pal?
Yes. Sticks, my guy. Miguel A. Nunez Jr., who was in Strap In Boys, It's a Long One. Adventures of Pluto Nash, Off the Top. Scooby-Doo, Life. Nutty Professor 2, Slam Dunk Ernest, Lethal Weapon 3, Action Jackson, Harlem Nights, The Return of the Living Dead, Friday the 13th, A New Beginning, and of course, Joanna Man.
Yeah, I think we shouted him out on that Friday the 13th episode we covered. TJ from Slam Dunk Ernest. That's what he's always going to be in my heart. Before he got Joanna Man.
I don't think...
Were we trying to determine if that was a prequel to Joanna Man?
Oh, yes, we were.
Wonder if anybody ever figured that one out.
Always liked Juwanna Mann because he played for the Charlotte Sting. So it's like a little hometown homage.
Oh, yeah. That's the pride of Charlotte basketball, and I appreciate that. Metalhead Hooker, Master Sergeant, Metalhead Hooker. It was actually in the 1987 Kubrick film. There's another Stanley Kubrick reference. Full Metal Jacket, where he played the door gunner who uttered the much quoted lines, "Get some," and "Ain't war hell." So, two pretty famous lines from a pretty famous movie. He was the drill sergeant, yeah, and got nixed by everybody's favorite drill sergeant, Arlie Ermy.
Well, he got to play that role in this film, so, it all worked out.
Think that how that probably altered his career,
Yeah,
if he would have maintained that role, he probably would have been much more successful. I mean, he's got a lot of acting credits if you looked at his IMDb, but they're all like
mid B stuff.
Mid at best, mostly not really well regarded.
Yeah, so he wins the role, and then Arlie Ermey's on set because being a former drill sergeant, you got a guy on set to kind of supervise, to tell you, do this, do that. I would do it like this. I would do it like that. See, and the Kubrick's like, this guy's pretty fucking good. Let's just get him on, put him on camera, and there goes your job.
He has an upcoming film coming out this year, which is good for him for getting work, called The Texorcist. I'm excited.
This is a Texas Chainsaw Massacre and fucking Exorcist mashup.
Yes. Leatherface Possessed.
The movie we didn't know we needed.
That would be badass. We don't think we even said the man's name. His name is Tim Colsari.
It's close enough.
Colsari.
And the only other one of the Sarge or Marines I had here was Books. Kind of the main character of the movie here. He was on 178 episodes of The Bold and the Beautiful. His real name is Brent Jasmer. And I thought this was pretty funny. Due to his quote-unquote strong resemblance to Sylvester Stallone, the director planned for him to do an impression of Stallone for the entire film, but he dropped the idea, fearing legal issues. There you go.
Stallone does get a little touchy.
Baby Stallone. I don't like you doing my voice,
Do you guys not see something like 170 episodes of Bold and the Beautiful and think like your grandma and a bowl of Kraft mac and cheese?
Yeah. Yeah. You get home at 3 o'clock and Granny's got it on.
I think about like staying home from school and being forced to watch that shit.
Oh, Price is Right. What we watched after Price is Right? Bold and Beautiful, General Hospital. Like, damn, it's like 5 in a row.
For Brent Jasmine, he was reunited with his birth mother on a episode of Geraldo in 1993. I found some weird shit for this movie.
That's all I got for the actors. I do got some notes on the introduction here. The first shot of this movie reminded me so much of a damn Power Rangers episode. I could not tell you why. The way the camera is just moving. I was like, this is some Power Rangers shit right? Dude.
It's funny you say that because Dr. Mittenhand looks like Zordon for half the fucking movie.
I got so much power. I was like, maybe when I saw this, my little 8-year-old mind was in such a Power Rangers zone that it brought back some kind of like weird attachments. But all I could think about for most of this movie was the damn Power Rangers. Like they were in the same set. I swear to God. And I like the metalhead. I do like the design of the metalhead. It looks cool.
It looks better than it should.
Who did it better? Did Tim Colsari do it better or Gary Oldman?
It's got to be
From
Gary.
Fifth Element.
More production value there. I'm going to give it to Texas Chainsaw 2.
Scratching.
Give it to old Bill Moseley.
Dog will hunt. Dog will hunt.
Get that bitch.
Dr. Reeves is assigned to the crew to collect and bring back samples of an alien target. Sergeant Hooker is pissed, but the head doctor reassures him that she is to be trusted. Dr. Reeves, played by Jessica Collins, who was in Catch Me If You Can, and Tales from the Crypt's last featuring film, Ritual.
I mean, don't forget Best of the Best 4 Without Warning. I mean, that one's just
that a porno?
as well.
The best. You never seen
Best of the
Best?
Wow.
It was like
Chris Penn, baby. Chris Penn,
Blood
baby.
Sport knockoff. Eric Roberts was in it, yeah.
Never heard it in my life.
It's like Blood Sport. It was a tournament of the best fighters in the world fighting against each other, yada, yada, yada. Classic 90s cheese shit.
The most recognizable role I see her in, it's like a bit part, but she's reporter Jackie DiNardo on a few episodes of It's Always Sunny.
Next up, Dr. Mittenhand, played by Guy Center, who was in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, and if you fellas have anything else, please say.
That was the only thing I wrote down.
He was
He
a
played
big
Harbour Master.
deal in on like BBC, not on
Oh,
the
well.
BBC,
Ooh.
but on the BBC.
Metal Man.
I don't know if you can say that.
What
Yeah.
are you doing back
But
there?
in terms of stuff we would recognize, it's not gonna be anything we would recognize.
Yes, dude was had way more acting credits than I thought he would when I pulled up his old IMDb page.
He had a fun time with this film, though. You tell. We then find our favorite leprechaun serving up a dinner for two with a gorgeous woman with the promise of the occasion bringing enormous ecstasy. It was a great line.
Yes, it's a bit of a like Princess Leia locked up in Jabba's dungeon situation here. And no one Warwick Davis attachment to Star Wars is kind of all I could think of once I put those two together.
Dude, how slick did Lep look coming out like swagged out to the max in that tux?
That when he had the long cigarette on the...
And we're supposed to just assume that Leprechaun was able to get to space, was going from planet to planet, pimping hoes, like the Godfather, WWE, and found this lady.
Yeah,
Oh, in terms of like continuation and any sort of plot holes, this movie just ignores
no idea.
any sort of thing remotely resembling a sensical leap from one to the other. I think there's like a fan theory over the years that say like each one of these is a different leprechaun. You know how each like Legend of Zelda is a different Link?
Yeah, but it's
Like
all
a different
connected
leprechaun in
in
each.
some way.
'Cause they all have like
Multiple
different powers
timelines.
and shit, and they all have like
Why
different
is
mannerisms. Like this leprechaun doesn't do any limericks or like
why the
rhyming
hell is he in
at all.
space? Why is he in
Because
space?
I mean he's not really in space. He's like in a mining facility that's specializes in like gold and shit. I guarantee they went and they tried to mine the gold in there, and that's where they found Leprechaun.
So he's on an alien planet. That's it.
Well, it's alien to us,
That's what I'm saying. Like,
but it wouldn't be alien to him.
This is like the genesis of him. He lived here. He was created here.
This instance of Leprechaun, sure.
And it's
Okay.
2096. Do not forget the year. Very important.
All right.
So our last character dump of the film. Princess Zarina, played by Rebecca Carlton. Anything.
She was in 5 episodes of Baywatch from 1994 and 1 episode of Charmed from 1998.
Charmed indeed.
You remember that one? I am the sun. I am the air.
I've never
There
seen
it goes
Charmed.
and shit.
I remember that Alyssa Milano, baby. Oof.
I am human and I need to be
they-
loved.
Were they witches?
Shout out to the Smiths. Hot Witch Sisters.
Witch sisters. Okay.
I don't know how else to explain it. Honestly,
Rose McGowan, dude.
thinking about it is a pretty good
goodness
explanation of what this show's about.
7-season arc. It's just two hot witches. Finally, last but not least, Leprechaun, played by Warwick Davis, who was in Star Wars, Harry Potter.
Willow
Yeah.
played the fictionalized version of himself in Life's Too Short. I think I shouted that one out before. It's a very funny series from HBO. Fun fact, I don't know if we ever said it, he is 3 feet, 6 inches tall. In case you haven't
Tiny man.
noticed.
Oh, we'll be finding out exactly how tall he is in Back to the Hood.
Oh, was that like a plot point?
Yeah, there's a joke in the
Oh, yes.
in the fucking movie.
He is,
It's actually a funny joke.
Here's your fun trivia fact if you ever get asked this question. He is one of the highest grossing supporting actors of all time.
I wonder if there's any beef, and this could be an ill taste, between him and the Game of Thrones dude.
Dinklage?
Yeah,
Peter
Peter
Dinklage?
No.
No, they're
Two
nowhere
different
near it. I
generations.
don't think they're anywhere near
Okay,
it.
I know they're like battling for the same role.
Ooh.
That's the thing. Like Warwick Davis walked so Peter Dinklage could run.
Run, he did.
Well, Peter Dinklage is a better actor.
Whoa.
I hate to drop that
You
right
better
here.
calm down a little.
I'd hate to
bit.
drop that right
Yeah,
here.
it's a little
It is
bit
what it
too
is.
We're talking about
much, okay?
Leprechaun in space. You dump shit like that on us?
You talking about Tyrion Lannister? Totally forgettable character.
Now
for
we
the
can talk
most
about how
popular
shit
show
this
in the history of
franchise
the world.
is, but talking about Warwick Davis as a bad actor, I mean, man's a
Oh
national
no, as
treasure.
a human being, hell yeah. Until the day I die, I'm a champion Warwick Davis, but I'm not gonna shit on Peter Dinklage for anybody.
I do
It's
have
all right.
some relevant news for Mr. Warwick Davis that I found pretty heartwarming. He just received the BAFTA Fellowship this year and dedicated the award to his late wife, I encourage anybody who listens to the show to watch on YouTube. You're guaranteed to cry. At least I did. His wife passed away in March of 2024, and they had met on the set of Willow and had 2 kids together. Lep tells Princess Zarina that her royal blood will give him power over the universe, and then shows her his jewels. Zarina is interested now. The Marine crew shows up at Lep's lair. Lucky gets his legs and head cut off by a lightsaber wielded by the hand of Lep. Lep then kills himself by jumping on a grenade to save the princess. KO pees on Lep's remains.
Dude, fucking pulled a Whitehurst, man. He fucking
That's
blew his
exactly
ass
what I
to
wrote.
pieces.
He did a Whitehurst from fucking Child's Play 3.
And his lightsaber was green, just like Yoda's. How fucking crazy is that shit?
I had to do a Yoda shout out. I gotta say, before we go any further, at this point, I had just wrote a note to just, can we just stop cutting to the outside of this ship?
So unnecessary.
It's like 10 minutes in, they kept cutting to the exterior. I was like, I don't need to see this. Just tell me that you're traveling through space. I believe it.
You know
Stop
what it
showing
was?
me this.
They had to get this movie to 1 hour and 30 minutes.
And this
Anybody
is a
ever
pretty
watch?
funny quote.
Everybody ever watch River Monsters?
I did not.
The hell's that? Like a reality show?
You guys don't watch River Monsters about the dude going around the world like fishing and catching like crazy ass animals like in the water?
I'm over here watching 2001: A Space Odyssey, and you're talking about damn multiple
I'm
seasons
watching
of
Royal
River
Rumble.
Monsters.
I don't know if Hootie brought up the fact that Leprechaun's soul or some shit travels up KO's or Kowalski's
Into his dick hole somehow.
piss stream into his dick, much
gets
like
like a shock.
I think it's called an arapaima. It's like a fish that literally will swim up your
I've heard about this
urethra
one.
and like lodge itself
that's
inside
terrifying.
your dick.
I think we heard about that in the Anaconda episode, remember? They're like, oh yeah, it'll get inside your pee hole and like spread its little barbs out and stick to your pee hole on the inside.
That's fun.
Yeah, so don't go in the water if you ever go down the
I
Amazon.
beg either you two or anyone listening to the show to go back and watch the scene where Leprechaun jumps on the grenade, because it obviously explodes and all you see is his little vest fly off. That's like the only thing.
All right, I just googled pee hole. I just googled pee hole fish. It's called a kandiru, not an arapaima,
The pee hole fish.
also known as the
Facts,
penis
facts
fish.
matter here.
It's the one that climbs up in your penis and sticks its little barbs out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of funny we're talking about the grenade jump here. This is the first, probably last, only time I've ever seen this character like be a genuine, like not leprechaun asshole. If you look at his face in this moment, it's like Warwick Davis is himself for a minute, you know? He's like, oh, look out, I'm going to take care of this, you know? He's like,
Yeah,
a
but the
good
only
guy for a
reason
minute.
the only reason he did it was like for ultimately
For nefarious purposes.
super selfish reasons. Like he,
I totally agree with that. But in that moment, if you watch that one little clip back, like Hootie was saying, Warwick Davis is like really acting in that moment. Like he's, like I believe him. Like he's trying to save this woman.
he literally says, "Get down." He fucking
Look
jumps
out.
on his shit.
Did he know he was going to climb up that guy's pee hole after the fact?
I would think not. How do you
Yeah,
just know the guy's going to piss on you?
I just know this guy looks like a pisser. What if the guy took a shit instead? I guess that'd be awkward.
Well,
to
it's
do
a
in front of
bigger
the whole
hole,
crew.
that's for sure.
He's just taking a big old shit on his corpse. And when they first get there, there's a quote right here. It's really funny. He's like, some vacation spot. Sergeant says, I've seen worse. You ever been to Detroit?
Dude, everybody just shit on
Why does
Detroit.
everyone
dude.
hate Detroit so much?
It kind of makes you just want to go to Detroit to see how bad it actually is.
I'm just trying to put some money into the economy there.
Hey, it makes me not want to go to Detroit. I don't want to go up there and get fucking stabbed.
Go see what Jared Goff's
The
up to.
Lions are pretty good. The Pistons have won a championship. It can't be that bad.
Last question I got about this little part here. What the hell was that little blue demon that they had to fight there?
Oh, I know, right? I thought it was like Leprechaun's pet. Like it's glossed
Yeah,
it.
like a
It glossed
bodyguard.
over that so much.
They killed that little bastard, and that's it. That's the only
And that
other
dude was like
creature we see.
celebrating his ass off.
Yeah, it's like, was that what they were there to hunt? That little blue thing?
That's what they initially thought. Yeah.
He was the alien that they were chasing?
Mm-hmm.
Back at the spaceship, Tina examines the princess's body while Dolores and KO find a spot in the cargo bay to get down to business. KO has a sharp pain in his dick. The leprechaun then bursts from his family jewels and gives Dolores a surprise.
Very alien of this movie, dude. KO got the leprechaun-sized dick. Then they have a cavalry trumpet playing as he's coming out of the fucking crotch. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah, this shit was bizarre, man. It's like there's no way I had seen this as a kid and not remembered a scene like this. So I'm convinced that I never saw this movie in its entirety.
Think that would have stuck with you, but I also forgot that scene.
Maybe it was edited out on TV or something, you know.
I have a couple of comments here about the spaceship. This thing looks like a damn porno set with how cheap it is.
It's bad, dude. I was going to say, I skipped over the caves earlier. When they go in them caves, I don't know what the hell it is. It looks like something my kid would have built with some Legos, and you just spray paint it over it, dude. Man, these sets are god awful. And what's up with the dude like creaming over the lady's knees? Like he's looking at the princess's knees, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna suck on those
Dude,
knees."
Harold is sassy.
Sassy
as
is the
fuck
way
in
to
this
put
movie.
it.
Harold is
That
like
dude
one of
is
my
horny
favorite
as
characters.
hell.
Dude, he is sassy, bro.
He wants to bang everybody, man.
He
or
likes
female.
them. Dude, he fucking. He tells Books, "Don't touch me unless you mean it, cowboy."
Yeah, he's like, "Let's go, motherfucker. Put on your pants."
Dude, he
And
was
then he's
smelling
like
her
creaming all over
feet,
this lady's feet,
like
her
licking her
knees.
knees, and then smelling her belly button. Oh, he was all about it.
Kind of makes you feel bad for the actress.
And then Mittenhead just floating around as a TV at this point. And this is funny. I know you talked about Lucky we got his legs chopped off and shit. That was off camera. We didn't see it happen. So when they were sitting there like toasting him, like they're getting drunk and they toast him, I'd totally forgotten the dude died until that moment. Because if you notice, like after they killed the leprechaun, no one gives a shit about Lucky. They're not reacting to the fact that one of their guys just got killed.
Yeah, they're really
Like, there
happy
is
that this thing's dead.
Yeah, there's no sorrow. Like, no one's upset about it. I was like, oh, fuck, I forgot that they were supposed to be, like, depressed. It seemed to me like they were like, shit, tough titties. Moving on to the next one.
The rest of the crew are getting drunk in a disco ball-infused barroom. Dolores bursts in and tells them it's alive. Mooch and Books go into a containment room in full hazmat gear, only for Lep. I can't get through. Jesus Christ. Lep to show up also, somehow, in safety gear to slash Moose's suit, killing him instantly.
Miniature safety gear. Built for a man who's 3.5 feet tall.
He popped up in that little hazmat suit. I was like, what in the hell?
He was in there fucking, he was in there waiting.
Like he had time to craft his suit and everything. He's just fucking chilling. All right, they're coming after me.
And dude, the way he cut the suit, he like swung on a chain, like bomb the first time, and he didn't see him. And he turns around, and he whips by the second time and hits him with the fucking straight razor.
Yeah, this shit was wild.
It's so good.
The Marine crew decide to leave the ship. Dr. Mittenhead stops them by revealing himself. The doctor is only a head and one arm attached to a rolling computer. He looks like, to me, a Dollar Tree version of Professor X.
I did like the effect, though, where it had his heart in the jar, and it was like
gross.
pumping the fluid. I thought that was fucking sick.
Some of the setup here is really good, considering the exterior shots we've been dealing with at this point. The practical stuff is a significant improvement over the visual, or the computer visual stuff.
I did wonder, was he moving that with his feet? I'm assuming that he was.
It had to be something he was standing in, right? Again, they hit it really well, because whenever it would switch the shot to from behind, and you could see like into the aquarium stomach situation he's got going on there.
You could tell it was a puppet in those moments.
Mittenhead offers the group a bonus of 100 times what they are paid now if they kill the creature. Dolores asks Metalhead if he thinks it was her fault KO was killed. She did give him a boner and all. Metalhead tells her that he hopes he goes out the same way.
Damn, the way she looked at him after he said that, she was like, I'm about to suck his motherfucking dick.
Yeah, that's kind of awkward.
It was awkward for Metalhead, too. You see his face?
So, guys, is that how you want to go out, boss? All right. Noted.
Lep attacks Books and Tina. They get away, but Tina is ready to read some books now. Lep then meets up with Danny for a workplace safety video. He sings Danny Boy to him and then kills him by dropping a cargo box on his head.
Him like toying with somebody. This kind of gets back to the playful Leprechaun that I missed from the first 3 movies.
That's the
to
thing.
this point, all this dialogue he's had, the rhyming scheme is gone.
There's no
which was
rhyme at all.
It's the calling card of the character to this point.
It's
for
like
me.
the charm of the character is gone.
Yeah, I don't understand why it's not present in this iteration.
especially like with this movie being more like shticky and being much more of a parody
Corny, right?
of sci-fi and so just like why not lean into the actual comedic part of the role that people flock to these movies for. It's like the movie forgets that Leprechaun 3 happened in terms of like
This is
the
the
way
same
the character
director,
developed. I know, but I just don't understand it. Like the characters around him play more of a central role to the comedic aspect of the movie than he does.
Yeah. It's like they took all the cheese off of the Leprechaun and sprinkled it on the characters and people that just aren't funny, don't have the charm.
This might play into your point, Joey, to where these are different leprechauns. Dr. Mittenhead learns that the princess has regenerative tissue, which will allow him to once again be a real boy. Lep then pays a visit to Dolores, who blows the green bastard into 1,000,000 pieces. Lep regenerates and throws her over the side of a bridge to her death.
That the gun that Dolores used to blow him up.
She jacks his ass up
Dude,
with that thing, bro.
that's the shit. Like these bullets are fucking
quick.
Exploding his body. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, the gunplay's cool. But her death, like him doing this little piggy, I was waiting for him to say something clever there.
Lep then goes to see Dr. Mittenhead, disguised as Tina to gain access to the laboratory. Mittenhead laughs at the size of Lep, and then his assistant stabs Lep in the chest. Lep sends a metal plate into the assistant's head, flattening it into a pancake. Dr. Mittenhead is next up for Lep, who, with the help of the princess, creates a concoction to inject into the ball gag doctor's head, with both parts spider and scorpion. Ball gag.
I
thought that was such a cool fucking scene, man.
The Looney Tunes face splat, I thought that was pretty funny. But you're talking about the actual concoction with the spider and shit?
Uh-huh.
For a little bit of spice. Pulls out the tarantula. That was her blood, right? Her DNA.
Why do they have a scorpion and a tarantula on this spaceship to begin with?
It's a laboratory, man.
The remaining Marines find the princess and Lep. They take Metalhead as a hostage, while the princess shows the others her tits as a form of a death wish. Styx, Books, and Tina follow them to the ballroom for a striptease performance from Metalhead, now dressed up as a woman. Joanna Man, eat your heart out.
Dude, the fucking Sarge meltdown with the nunchucks that happens right here is the funniest shit in this movie. When he busts Books upside the head, man, that had me dying laughing.
Like oscillating between like being a man and being a woman.
He says, "Attention, nunchucks!" He fucking pulls them out, just starts fucking, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, he's gonna kill us!" And he fucking hits Books in the head with one, sends him flying. Man, that shit was so funny.
Seeing the duality of that guy, he had some range.
At this point, I mean, if the movie is not off the rails, this took it all the way off.
And again, this is taking the Leprechaun corniness and putting it on a new character, and it just doesn't ring as charming as Warwick doing it.
Lep and the princess go to the cargo bay for his gold. Metalhead turns on the others, forcing them to kill him, only to reveal that he was a robot the entire time. Dr. Mittenhead is transformed into a mutation from the Fly. Styx gets to see him up close while trying to break into the computer system to stop the ship from exploding.
What did you guys think of Mitten Spider's makeup? I thought it was really fucking good.
It was pretty solid.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I thought they shot it pretty well too, considering how much they seemed to struggle with some of their effects work. The makeup was good and it was framed really well. Some puppeteering involved, it looked like, and just cool makeup on the actor's face.
To your Power Ranger point, it did jiggle a lot like the villains in Power Ranger.
Yeah, like when you smack them and they quit moving, but like the rest of the puppet keeps jiggling.
I like when they had the first person perspective of the spider approaching Styx. And
He said,
Styx
"What the
finally
fuck
realizes, he
happened to
says, "What the fuck happened to you?" And he takes his hat off and he throws it at the camera, hits it in the lens. It was so good.
And going back to the princess boobs scene, I thought that was pretty funny. It said,
Let's go back to that one.
The topless scene was forced in by Trimark. So the writer decided to, in spite, come up with the dumbest reason for the nudity. So she said that Dr. Reeves said after the fact that if a woman from this planet shows you her breasts, it is because you will be marked for death. Just some goofy ass shit right there.
Sticks says, which part of her anatomy is she going to kill me with? My man.
Sticks is ready to stick it in something, bro. I feel bad for him. He gets cooked like this whole movie. He's the third wheel through and through.
Tina and Books get into a shootout with Lep, ending in the little guy being zapped into growing to the roof of the cargo bay. Tina runs back to help Sticks in only her underwear and tank top for some reason, and kills Dr. Mittenhead with liquid nitrogen.
She freezes his ass. He's like, help me.
What
Looking
about
straight at
Lep?
the thing.
What about the first thing Lep does when he gets like bigger? Is check how big his dick got.
Pull the old dick out, yeah, naturally. Bigger. What does he say? Bigger is best.
Big is good.
You like that.
This is our fourth Lep film. And this is a horny little bastard. But he never makes it home.
Never gets it in, though. He never even gets his, unbuckled. You want to see, a sex... You want to see a Chucky sex scene
maybe
with
he's got some built-up, sex tension. He's just got to release, man.
That's what it is. That's what his gold is really about.
All right.
He's gold. But during the shootout, man, I know, to this point, we've talked about this crazy, goofy shit. But for some reason, watching Warwick Davis just popping around corners, fucking blasting a gun.
With a handgun?
Yeah, dude. It just fucking took me to, a new place. I was like, what am I watching? He was peeking around corners, Call of Duty style, looking down the sights. Pop,
I
pop,
forgot
pop,
about
pop.
that.
I was like, this is fucking Warwick Davis blasting a gun at somebody. That was wild, dude.
Well, in his defense, the cargo bay looked like a damn paintball room.
Yeah, he really did.
Tina, let's bring it home. Tina opens the doors to the cargo bay, which sucks Lep out into space, and he bursts into a million pieces for the third time in this film. Tina, Books, and Sticks are able to turn off the ship's detonation timer and see Lep's hand give them the middle finger. And with that, Leprechaun 4 in Space is concluded.
Ejected into space. Is there any other way to finish a movie in space? I am determined it cannot be done.
It's always got to be a threat of the self-destruction shit going off too. I think we talked about it during Event Horizon.
Exactly. We need new drama in space.
I get it because it's at this point it's a trope. It's a cliche, and this movie's all about being a parody. But it always feels like a cheap cop out. Every time.
I guess that's the point of the parody. But come on, man, we got to find another creative way to do this shit.
In 20 years, if we go into space, always know where the door is for something to get sucked out.
Where's the airlock and the eject buttons?
I just got to find the door to get sucked on.
Soon, apparently.
Yeah, about that.
All right, boys. Well, this might be a little hard, but what piece of memorabilia from Lep 4 would you like to take home?
I brought it up earlier, man. Give me that battle rifle of Dolores's that shoots fucking hand grenades. That thing was sick, man. Literally 3 shots and it blew his little ass to pieces.
Yeah, that was pretty tight. I'm gonna take the shrink ray. I think there's some good that can be done with that there device. I love having shit, but I hate having shit take up space. So if I can have all my cool collectible stuff and just shrink it down to pocket size, that'd be nice.
I am going to take the bottom or 75% of Dr. Mittenhead. I want the computer part. I want to see how it works. Part? I want to take it apart. Well, I'm assuming once he transformed, he left the computer behind.
So let me ask you: you want to take his
Correct.
face off?
Is that another Thomas Jane reference we're throwing out here?
The boots
this late in the episode.
Wait, is Thomas Jane in Face Off?
Yeah, he's in prison with Nick Cage. He's the guy that he befriends with the Magna boots.
Comes back.
The only movie I ever remember Thomas Jane from is City of Angels.
Didn't know he was in that.
City of Angels with Nick Cage.
Oh, Crow.
Yeah, he's in that.
Is he in that one?
Yeah, he's jacking off in the fucking dirty stuff.
Of course, somebody's jacking off. That's what you remember about him.
That's
all I need to know about the Punisher.
Wait, City of Angels? That's that John Travolta movie, isn't it?
That's the Nick Cage movie with Meg Ryan, where she's on the bike doing this shit. And I don't want the world to see me.
'Cause I don't.
The John Travolta film is Michael.
Yeah,
where he has wings.
Michael. Where he had the long hair.
What a time to be alive.
I do remember that. Christ almighty.
That man has
VHS,
a lot of
baby.
face.
VHS in 98. Nothing like it.
All right, fellas. Let's bring it all the way home. Joey, what is your thoughts of Leprechaun 4?
So we finally found it. The bottom of the Leprechaun barrel with 1996's Leprechaun 4 in space. This is a step down in the series, to be sure. The humor and campiness that drove the last couple of entries to far exceed its actual cinematic quality has gone from a creamy, fresh mozzarella to a pungent Limburger cheese. It stinks, and not in a good way. The CGI in this movie is some of the worst I've ever seen. There's a fine line between terrible and so bad it's good. And in this case, we're definitely in the foremost territory. Acting has never been a strong point of the franchise outside of Warwick, and it's more of the same here, with a few notable exceptions being Guy Center as Dr. Mittenhead. As crazy as it is, he still was pretty good in the role. Miguel A. Nunez Jr. as Styx. He's a traditional actor, but his character still felt kind of generic regardless. Then the actor who played Metalhead, he did a pretty good job as well. What was his name? His name was Tim Colsetti. Yeah, props to him. Honestly, my biggest complaint is it feels like the best part of the franchise, Warwick Davis' Leprechaun, takes a back seat to all these wacky one-off characters, almost like an afterthought at times, literally disappearing into the bowels of the ship. The role also seems like its charm is lost in Lep 4 with its muted on-screen presence and lack of franchise-defining one-liners and limericks we've grown to love and expect. This feels like a space comedy horror with the Leprechaun in it, and not a Leprechaun movie in space. Admittedly, I did enjoy Dr. Mittenhead's absurdness and his interactions with Harold, as well as the practical makeup for Mitten Spider, and as always, any time spent with Warwick is a treat, although we're at an all-time low point in the series. Thankfully, it'll be a while before it gets any worse than this chapter for the little green bastard. Leprechaun 4 grades out with a D.
Well, boys, get out your cheese graters. If I had to title my review, that is how I would title it. Leprechaun 4 in space is what happens when a franchise completely runs out of ideas and shame. They literally shot this on recycled sci-fi sets from a dozen straight-to-video 90s flicks. Special effects look like they were done with refrigerator magnets and leftover Halloween makeup. The plot is bare. Leprechaun's rhyming skills are gone. Everything wrong with the previous Leprechaun movies. Take that and launch it into the vacuum of space. You get Leprechaun 4. This isn't just scraping the bottom of the barrel. It is drilling through the bottom and striking a new stanky reserve of awful. Let's get to the hood. Leprechaun 4 gets a D- for Brian Trenchard Smith for me. Warwick Davis, only thing keeping this from an F.
L4 is a movie that I have not revisited since Stone Cold Steve Austin was crushing.
Fucking what? L4. Hold on. I'm sorry. You just called this fucking L4 like it's T2.
The guy in the review named it, and I was like, that's
what everyone calls it.
You know
what? I'm going to take that moniker. It's going to be
L4.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's a movie I have not revisited since Stone Cold Steve Austin was crushing Steve Weisers on Monday Night Raw. Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
What?
Da-da-da-da.
I remember this film being pretty bad when I was a kid. However, most things can be overlooked at that age. This rewatch was pretty brutal in regards to the CGI and the overall script that the studio decided was ready to go. I didn't hate the acting for the most part because the dialogue was so bad, I'm not sure that it even mattered who was saying the lines. Warwick was fantastic once again, but you could even tell he was phoning in some of the over-the-top, goofy scenarios. All in all, I can say that for this St. Patrick's Day, maybe go back and rewatch one of the first 3 films, or hey, get ahead of the homework assignment, check out In the Hood. I give this installment a D.
Damn, this might be
Another
the worst thing we've seen in a while, boys.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Everyone, it's okay to get away from the old cheese every now and again. With all that being said, I'm going to recap the audience score guesses from Rotten Tomatoes. If you're new to the show, we guess the Rotten Tomatoes audience score. This go round for shits and giggles, but usually in order to choose what we watch next, we got to be within 5 points. This was a mandatory assignment, as it is that time of the year for us. So, with that in mind, we just took random guesses. Well, I wouldn't call them random. We were all pretty damn close to what we thought this would be. Hootie guessed a 10%. I a 15. Joy a 25. The actual audience score was a 20 on Rotten Tomatoes. Close to an all-time low. I think that we've encountered so far from an audience.
Well deserved.
'Tis true, 'tis true. Anyway, moving on. Moving on bigger, maybe better. We'll have to see how it turns out. Things,
Wait, wasn't I within 5?
This one didn't count, my brother. Hate to break it to you. This was
swing and a
a
miss.
mandatory assignment. So for all we know,
Wow.
for all Hootie and I know, you knew the movie was coming. You could have preemptively looked up that audience
That's
score.
true. It's
So
true.
Your depth
we
of
gotta play
research.
by the
Can't
rules.
trust you guys. But if you rewind to the last guess that did count, sorry to break it to you fellas, but we blew it. You two were off on Psycho 2. I brought the goods to the table. You both lowballed it. So thanks to the Norman Bates and a big old shovel to the back of your heads, we are going to the random wheel to determine what is next for us guys to cover here on the podcast.
It's always exciting to see what kind of shit comes up.
You never know what'll be next, as they say. All right. So we're going to spin the random wheel to see what we will be watching next. Oh, looks like we're going to 2015, boys. My boy Bobby Eggs on the podcast for the first time. The Witch. The Vitch, if you will. I think it's two
Speaking
V's. is how I've seen
speaking
it
of
spelled.
A24,
This is about as prestige indie horror
I've
as it
never
gets,
seen this.
my guys. I got a feeling Ryan Hootie's.
I know.
What the hell?
oh god, it's
This podcast is over.
Really fucking creepy.
What's the word I'm looking for here? It's super
Higher,
time period accurate.
what's that word you always use about like highbrow? It's
Highbrow.
I may get
Highbrow.
kicked off this
Highbrow.
show. I am not the biggest fan of this director. I'm sorry.
He does good works, man. That's all I can say. Let's see if we can sway you with this one. But I will say this is like he shoots his movies as if they actually take place during
Oh,
the
I saw
time periods that
Nosferatu.
they are
I
set
get it.
in. So, yeah.
Here's
You
our.
didn't like
It's gonna
Nosferatu?
sound like
Oh, I love that shit. I'm gonna tell you
that
what,
was a shit.
Bill
I
Skarsgård
thought
can
it was
touch me
fucking
any
great,
way he
dude.
wants.
In the Count Orlok voice, can you do the Orlok voice, Joy?
If you come over here, you will see I am the warlock. I am the Nosferatu.
See,
That brings
to
violence.
That's
me,
pretty
I will
close.
I want to eat your pussy.
When
Yeah,
you
that's
came
good
to
stuff.
me, you resurrected me, Enchantress.
Chills.
Love it. All right, folks, we're going to hop on YouTube and watch the official trailer for The Witch from 2015. If you want to watch along with us, you can do so on our YouTube channel. Otherwise, you will be rejoining with us here in a few short moments. Yeah, boys, that was the trailer for The Witch from 2015. Hard to hide my enthusiasm. It's just going to be fun. Appreciate the random wheel giving us a blessing there. So, Mater Meter game, boys. We got to guess within 5 points on Rotten Tomatoes audience score. If we can nail that, we can choose what's next. I'm going to put this at an 85%.
Audience score,
I was
audience
gonna
score
say
has a bunch of
86, and he said
assholes. I'm gonna
85.
go like 72. I mean, Price is Right his ass, dude. Go.
I bet critics, I guarantee critics have this in the 90s. This is
I'll take
highbrow as
80
it
to hit
gets,
in the
man.
middle.
Boom. He'll make a manwich out of Hootie yet. I knew it was going to happen. All right, quick Google. It is, looks like you can rent or buy wherever you choose to do those things. It is not currently on any streaming service. So do yourself a favor. Send Bobby Eggs, as I like to call him, $4 for at least renting this movie here. Support good artists, my guys. That's all I can say. Thank you for listening. Check out horriblefilmschool.com to find links to our episodes, the social channels, the merch store. As always, you can support us for free in 3 simple ways. Rate, review, and subscribe. If you want to be heard on that 100th episode special, reach out. Let us know what you want us to cover. If you're feeling generous, send us some Space Princess lingerie. I know we'd be glad to wear it. I'm going to send my support to women rocking doctorates in the cold recesses of Jarhead and Leprechaun-riddled space.
As always, if you're hearing our voices, tell at least one person you know. Spread the love. Spread the campaign that is the Horrible Film School. And with that, I am off to my public library to get The Witch on Blu-ray. I'm out.
Thanks for all the likes, the subs, the listens, the follows, the downloads. We really appreciate you guys and gals' support, as well as your time and attention. Be sure to join us next time when we hang out with Black Phillip in 2015's The Witch. Class dismissed.